Hey everyone, it's Tracy at Whirls and Swirls Quilting, APQS Ontario. Today's design of the day is another grid work deal. It's a little more complicated. Doesn't mean it's harder, it just means there's a few extra things going on in there. So we're going to do a circle. I'm going to put a little feather on top of that, a little feather behind it, and then come into the point right there, or the intersection, sorry, of the grid. So circle in, feather, put a little feather behind it, and in. Circle, little feather on top, little feather behind, and in. What you want to remember to do when you're doing that second little feather, you want to make sure that it actually has a feather shape. Try not to let that get too round, because it'll just look like another circle behind the feather, and then it sort of loses the original intent of the look. If you want this idea, but you don't want to do it as involved as this one, you could always do it with just the one feather on top of the little circle, and that looks good too. As I said yesterday with the grid design that I did, when you are using the grid just as a marking tool, and those lines obviously aren't going to be there anymore, and you're on just a plain background like this will be, you need to make sure that you hit those points and close your thread. You want to make sure that they just kiss each other right in the corners there. If you're doing this on piecing, of course, you're going to be aiming for the intersections of the piecing. So the accuracy there will be whether or not the piecer or you have all your intersections bang on. But really, you know, don't get too hung up on it, because the eye will close a lot of stuff anyway. I'm just going to do these 2 rows, and then I'll finish the grid, and I'll post a photo of the finished grid in the comments like I did yesterday, so you can get a really good idea of the entire design and what it looks like when you get a bunch of it together. And then you'll be able to see all the cool secondary designs that come. Depending on how you're looking at it, you'll see different things. I really like working with stencils, just the grid stencils, you know, ones with registration lines, and sort of give you a background to play on. So again, circle, pop a little feather on top, little one beside, and then into the corner. Now this you would do all the way across your entire space. I'm going to get up to here, and I'm going to go across those top 2. But if I was doing all the rows at one time, then I would do the entire thing and leave all those tops open, whether there's 2 or 40, it doesn't matter. And you do those all at the very end. And then that's how you get all the way across with only one stop and start. See that? You just pop that in there like that. And there you go. Isn't that awesome? So just so you know, this is the stencil that I'm using. It doesn't even have anybody's name on it, and I've had it for a long time, so I honestly can't remember where I got it. It's just a 2-inch square grid. and I pounce it with my pounce powder. One thing I want to mention with stencils though, you'll notice they have a rough side and a smooth side. You want to make sure your smooth side is down on your fabric. You want the rough side up, and then that way when you swipe your pounce across it, the rough side actually helps to pull some of the powder out of the pad and onto the fabric. Okay, so that's today's design of the day. I hope you like it. Like I said, I'm going to finish up the video, or finish up the grid, and I'll take a photo and put that in the comments. Have a great day. Take time to doodle, and we will see you tomorrow.